In 1991, in Phoenix, Arizona, a woman named Pam Reynolds faced one of the most daring medical procedures ever attempted. Doctors had to remove a life-threatening aneurysm at the base of her brain. To do it, they would have to stop her heart, drain the blood from her head, and cool her body to near freezing. For all medical purposes, Pam would be dead. Inside the operating room, machines clicked and hummed. Her heart monitor flatlined. Blood stopped flowing to her brain. The EEG showed no activity. By every standard of biology, consciousness should have been impossible. Yet something extraordinary was about to happen. While surgeons worked, Pam later reported that she found herself hovering above her own body, fully aware. She described the saw used to open her skull, shaped like an electric toothbrush, not a traditional blade. She recalled the conversation between doctors about the size of her arteries. Every detail she mentioned was later confirmed by the surgical team. No sensory input, no heartbeat, no brain activity, and yet awareness, observation, presence. Pam said she felt herself moving toward a light, an indescribable brilliance. There was music, but not made of sound, more like vibrating color and energy. She sensed people she knew, not as physical beings, but as waves of recognition and love. Time, as she knew it, was gone. There was no before and no after, only what she called the eternal now. In that state, she said, everything was happening at once. All events, all possibilities coexisted. There was no need to remember or anticipate. It was pure presence, awareness without sequence. Pam described it as being more awake than she had ever been in her life. No thought of minutes or hours, only infinite clarity and connection. Then abruptly she felt herself pulled back. The light faded, the music ceased. Awareness shrank into her body again. When her heart was restarted and warmth returned, Pam said it felt like diving into ice water. Suddenly she was back in linear time, constricted, heavy, limited. She remembered thinking, how slow and cold this world feels. Her account remains one of the most documented near-death experiences in medical history. To neuroscientists, it raises a profound question. If consciousness depends on a working brain, how could it continue, lucid and observant, when the brain was clinically silent? To philosophers, it suggests something deeper. Perhaps consciousness is not contained within the brain at all. Perhaps it is fundamental, existing outside of time and space, touching the eternal even as the body sleeps in silence. Close your eyes and remember your first kiss, the laughter of a friend, the smell of rain outside your childhood window. Notice something strange. Those moments don't feel gone. They feel alive, here, now, vivid inside your awareness. Memory does not behave like a dusty photograph in an attic. It breathes, it moves, it exists only in the present moment of experience. Neuroscientists have discovered that when you remember, the brain doesn't retrieve a stored recording. Instead, it reconstructs the event from scratch, firing the same neural networks that were active during the original experience. To the brain, the boundary between remembering and perceiving is surprisingly thin. The past is not revisited. It is rebuilt, right here in the now. In that sense, every memory you hold is a living present moment, painted anew by the mind each time it arises. Think about how time feels when you're absorbed in something you love, music, art, conversation. Hours vanish. Then remember waiting in a slow line or sitting through a dull lecture. Minutes stretch endlessly. This is the contrast between clock time, known to the Greeks as chronos, and experience time, shaped by attention, emotion, and meaning. Your inner sense of duration bends and folds according to what consciousness finds significant. The clock never lies, but neither does experience. They simply measure different realities. From a deeper perspective, consciousness never truly leaves the present. It can imagine the future and reconstruct the past, but it only ever experiences this single unfolding moment. The so-called past and future are mental overlays. coordinates we draw onto an eternal field of now. Time, as measured by machines, is an abstraction, a tool. The real territory is awareness itself. All that has ever happened, and all that will ever happen, can only be known through the living instant of consciousness. Each of us inhabits a private time stream shaped by perception. When we say, "It feels like yesterday," or "This day will never end," we are reporting the distortions of subjective time. This doesn't mean those feelings are illusions. It means they are direct expressions of consciousness bending temporal experience. Our inner world is not a passenger on time's current, it is the creator of its flow. In the end, there is no experiential proof of a past or future outside this moment of awareness. There is only the continuous emergence of now, reshaping itself into stories, memories, and expectations. Perhaps, as mystics and scientists alike are beginning to suspect, we do not move through time at all. It is time that moves through us, and the true location of reality is always here. We often imagine time as a river flowing endlessly from past to future. Moments arise, exist, and vanish downstream. But what if that isn't true? What if time does not flow at all, but simply is a landscape already fully formed? This idea, first suggested by Albert Einstein, would change everything we think we know about existence. Einstein's theory of relativity revealed a startling truth. Time is not separate from space, it is woven together with it, forming a single fabric known as spacetime. In this fabric, all events, past, present, and future, coexist simultaneously. They do not unfold, they simply are. This vision is known as the block universe. Imagine the universe as a vast loaf of bread. Each slice is a moment in time, one slice for your birth, one for today, one for every possible tomorrow. All slices exist at once, side by side, forming the complete loaf of spacetime. When we say time passes, what we truly mean is that consciousness moves its attention from one slice to the next, giving the illusion of flow. But in the deeper reality, every moment, every slice, is equally real. In the block universe, you are not a being traveling through time. You are a four-dimensional structure stretched across spacetime itself. The child you once were, the person you are now, the elder you will become. They all exist, fixed along your temporal axis, like beads on a string. You experience them sequentially, but they coexist eternally in the structure of reality. In that sense, you are far larger than you imagine. Your life is not a line being written, it is a sculpture already complete. If every moment exists simultaneously, then now is not special in physics. It is simply the point where consciousness happens to be looking. To a higher dimensional observer, one who could see all of spacetime at once, birth, death, and everything between would appear together, forming a single timeless pattern. Time, from that viewpoint, is not a current but a coordinate. Of course, this raises a haunting question. If the future already exists, does that mean everything is predetermined? Einstein himself was uneasy with this implication, yet quantum mechanics offers a possible reconciliation. At the smallest scales, the universe operates by probabilities, not certainties. Outcomes are not fixed until they are observed. This means that even within the block, reality contains zones of open potential, places where choice and randomness coexist with structure. In this way, the block universe does not imprison us. It provides the stage on which free will, chance, and consciousness all play their parts. If this model is true, then the version of you who was born still exists. The version of you who will die is already there as well. Every joy, every sorrow, every heartbeat remains suspended in the architecture of spacetime, permanent and unchanging. We do not move through time. We are time, extended beings traversing our own eternal form. At the heart of modern physics lies a puzzle. When scientists look at the tiniest building blocks of nature, electrons, photons, particles of light, they behave like waves, existing in many states at once. But when observed, they collapse into a single, definite form. It's as if the act of looking forces the universe to make up its mind. This strange effect is called the collapse of the wave function, and it raises a question that has haunted physics for nearly a century. What exactly counts as an observer? At the subatomic level, everything exists as probability. An electron is not here or there, it is everywhere it could possibly be until an observation pins it down. This suggests that the universe, at its most fundamental level, does not prefer certainty, it prefers possibility. Reality is not a static thing waiting to be discovered. It is a dynamic field waiting to be chosen. And the act of observation, perhaps the act of consciousness itself, is what turns possibility into actuality. If this is true, then consciousness may not be a passive witness inside the universe. It may be an active participant, a co-creator. Physicists like John Wheeler once proposed the idea of a participatory universe, in which observers help bring the cosmos into being. Every act of perception, every moment of awareness, is part of a vast feedback loop between mind and matter. You are not looking at the universe, you are helping it to exist. Some physicists, like Julian Barber, take this one step further. They argue that time itself does not exist at the quantum level. The equations describing fundamental reality have no ticking clock inside them. Instead, what we call time emerges only when consciousness stitches together separate quantum states into a flowing narrative. It is the mind that creates the illusion of sequence, the perception that one moment follows another. From this perspective, time is a story told by awareness. To visualize this, imagine the block universe as a roll of film. Every frame, past, present, and future, already exists on the strip. Nothing moves within it. But when light from the projector passes through each frame in succession, the still images appear to move and come alive. Consciousness is that projector. It illuminates one frame at a time, giving birth to the illusion of motion, change, and time. The now is simply the frame currently lit by awareness. We feel time moving forward, second by second, moment by moment. But that sensation may not reflect reality itself. It may be a feature of consciousness, not a property of the universe. The flow we perceive, past to future, could be the way our minds interpret a static world. Physics offers a clue: entropy. Entropy is the universe's tendency to move from order to disorder. A scrambled egg cannot unscramble itself. A shattered cup cannot reassemble. This increasing disorder gives us the sense of direction, the arrow of time. Our brains evolved to detect and track this entropy, reading it as forward motion. Yet experiments show that the perception of time is fragile. People with damage to the brain regions that process temporal information often lose the sense of time passing. Moments blur, sequences disappear, and yet consciousness remains. Perhaps the brain does not generate awareness, but constrains it, filtering infinite possibility into a manageable stream, one frame at a time. This filtering may explain why time feels linear and continuous. Consciousness is like a projector illuminating a single slice of a vast, still space-time. The now we perceive is a single frame in an eternal sequence. Flow is not an objective feature of reality, but a consequence of how the mind organizes experience. If consciousness creates the impression of motion, then time itself is not moving through us. Instead, awareness navigates a landscape already laid out, reading frames of reality in sequence. Entropy guides the reading. The brain enforces the focus, and the illusion of flow arises. The arrow of time is not absolute. It is the brain interpreting change. It is the mind giving shape to eternity. If every moment exists permanently in the structure of space-time, then perhaps nothing is ever truly gone. Every smile, every touch, every conversation you've shared still exists, fixed, eternal, unalterable. Grief, then, may arise not from loss itself, but from the illusion that moments and people disappear. In this view, death does not erase a person. It only marks the end of their awareness moving through a particular sequence of events. The slices of their life remain. Every moment is a permanent coordinate in the cosmic landscape. You can never truly lose them, because their existence is written into the fabric of reality. Quantum mechanics suggests a deeper possibility. There may be multiple probability threads, many versions of your life, all existing simultaneously. Consciousness may navigate between these threads, choosing which path to experience. The permanence of each slice does not negate choice. It only situates it within a vast, multidimensional structure. Some studies hint that the human body can react to events before they occur. Heart rate changes, skin conductance shifts, subtle physiological responses happen before a stimulus is consciously observed. These precognitive echoes make no sense if consciousness is strictly linear. But if time is not a straight line, they may be natural expressions of awareness interacting with the structure of space-time. Understanding permanence reshapes how we relate to life and loss. Moments are not fleeting. Loved ones are not truly gone. The threads of existence, past, present, and future, are all accessible in the eternal fabric. This insight can change grief into perspective, and perspective into hope. For thousands of years, mystics and philosophers have described reality as timeless. They spoke of an eternal present, a now-beyond sequence, beyond past and future. Modern physics, with its block universe and quantum insights, is beginning to echo these ancient perceptions. In Hindu philosophy, this timeless reality is called Brahman, the unchanging, eternal essence behind all existence. Buddhism teaches that time and causation are constructs of the mind. From these traditions, the flow of life is not absolute. It is an interpretation of consciousness navigating a deeper, eternal landscape. The Christian mystic Meister Eckhart wrote, "There is no yesterday nor any tomorrow, but only now, as it was 1,000 years ago, and as it will be 1,000 years hence." Here, the eternal present is not metaphorical. It is the fabric of experience itself, beyond the ticking clock and the linear timeline. The Greeks understood this distinction. Chronos is clock time, mechanical, sequential, measurable. Kairos is the timeless moment, the now of meaning, significance, and insight. Artists, poets, and mystics inhabit Kairos. Perhaps it is not Chronos, but Kairos that represents the true structure of reality. Modern science and ancient wisdom converge on a startling point. Time, as we commonly experience it, may be a construction of consciousness. The eternal now, described by mystics, corresponds to what physics suggests about the block universe and quantum perception. We are not traveling through time. We are living within an eternal present, a now that stretches infinitely in every direction. If time is a construction of consciousness, then our experience of the past is not fixed. We can revisit memories and reframe them, not to erase what happened, but to change how those moments exist in our eternal now. Every past joy, sorrow, or challenge remains permanently etched in space-time, yet our awareness can reinterpret its meaning. By changing our perspective, we change our relationship to the past. Visualization and intention do not create the future ex nihilo. Rather, they guide consciousness along one of many possible threads within the block universe. The future already exists as a landscape of probability. Our awareness, our choices, our focus determine which path we traverse. We are not passive observers. We are active participants in the unfolding of reality. If consciousness constructs the perception of time, then we have more agency than we realize. We are not victims of clocks, schedules, or the relentless march of seconds. We are the lens through which life is experienced. By cultivating attention, mindfulness, and presence, we can illuminate a single slice of eternity, fully, richly, profoundly. Every moment you live is eternal. Every act of love, every breath, every choice is inscribed into the cosmic structure. The past is here, the future is here, the present is all there is. By embracing this truth, life transforms from a fleeting sequence of events into a timeless journey of awareness. You are not in time, time is in you. Every experience matters because every experience is eternal. Consciousness is not constrained by the linear, mechanical flow of seconds. It illuminates, navigates, and participates in the infinite expanse of the universe. This is the practical timeless life, living with awareness, agency, and presence in every eternal now.